Ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here on YouTube. Today we are going to be talking about Komodo, KMD. Full disclosure, I do have a bag of Komodo, and I did obtain it on Crypto.com. Not being sponsored by Crypto.com or Komodo for putting out this video in any way, shape, or form. So with that said, I wanted to be very open and very clear about my positions on this. Let's get into the juicy juice of Komodo. So with that said, we'll be going over market cap, circulating supply, current price. We'll be going over what they are building on their blockchain tech, and we will be going over one of their products, the AtomicDex, at the very end after we do some TA within Komodo. But before we get into all of this, check me out on Twitter at Real6Fig. This is where I'm dropping cute pictures of carved pumpkins, charts, new upcoming videos, and all sorts of other shenanigans. So one thing that I think a lot of investors are focused on when they look at these projects right out of the gates is if they are good and if they have the potential to 5, 10, 20x, 50x, 100x. So that makes it very much more attractive than, let's just say, Bitcoin. 1x, 2x, from here over how many years. Just saying, it's going to be a slow process. So with that said, Komodo, I do think that given their current situation, kind of a newer coin, part of the UTXO Alliance, they've got a current market cap of $135 billion. Price is $1.05, $1.06, with a circulating supply of 128.3 million KMD. Now, I do think that this will allow for price action to really squeeze to the upside. And let's just kind of speak some hypothetical market caps. If KMD hits 500 million, we're looking at almost a $4 KMD. If it hits $1 billion, $7.30 KMD. $2 billion, $14.75. $5 billion, this is going to be almost $40 a KMD. So that is crazy to think about. And $135 million market cap is very small, but it's still a lot of money and nothing to really scoff at because that's a lot of money to anybody. So with that said, I do think that the potential to 5x, 10x, 50x, 100x is there. Absolutely. So with that said, the one thing that Komodo is focusing on is their AtomicDex. And this is going to be basically a wallet and decentralized exchange all in one. So I should add a non-custodial wallet to boot. So with that said, I went ahead and downloaded the AtomicDex, and we'll check that out at the very end. But this is crazy because I think that they are looking to solve some of the big problems facing current centralized wallets and exchanges. The number one problem I think that exchanges have basically is when volatility is extremely high and mass amount of users are trying to use the blockchain networks and everything gets swamped. So if the AtomicDex can somehow relieve some of that congestion that happens when it comes to those higher volume trading times, like when Bitcoin crashes, for example, that is really a huge plus if they can mitigate some of that damage that is caused by the centralized exchanges. We've all been there. When Bitcoin's crashing, you try to access your app, you can't because everything is so clogged that the exchange servers can just not handle the volume. So if AtomicDex can find some way to scale this to prevent that from happening or lessen the blow, I think that would be such a huge thing. Now let's look at the charts. We can see that back in November of 20, Komodo hit about 38 cents and then she ran all the way up to $4.75. We can see that's when about Bitcoin took a dump and it pulled the rest of the market down with it. So we can kind of see that right now it looks like KMD is kind of setting up in a very similar structure that it did right before this pop here. So with that said, let's just kind of get into this a little bit. Now I am seeing a clear trend line. We are seeing the lows get higher, and we might be forming out somewhat of an ascending triangle on the charts, And I do think that right now we may see price action bounce between 96 cents and maybe $1.30 before this thing either breaks to the south side or north side. One other thing I just kind of want to go ahead and look at is where this thing actually retraced to from all-time highs, or what I'm assuming are all-time highs, because TradingView just picked this up in August of 2020. So let's take a quick peek at this. And oh man, this got really bad for Komodo when everything broke loose. We can see this bad corrective wave and Elliott wave theory to the downside. So once we saw that, we saw price action kind of reverse, and we are now seeing the potential for maybe a cup and handle. So we'll see if that happens, but no guarantees right now. After this clobbering, we are seeing Komodo slowly kind of creep back up, and we have almost done maybe a 2 or 3x at times, 4x. So right now price action is squeezing in between the 50 moving average and the 200. So if we see price action move upwards towards this 200, I do think that we will likely see a good golden cross opportunity, and we might see price action really skyrocket upwards to retest this 200 moving average. One thing I want to go ahead and do is throw this up on a Fibonacci extension. And you can kind of see that, we'll go off this lower extension here. You can kind of see how right now Komodo is really fighting with this 236 extension line. And I do think that if we can blow past this and work our way up through some of these Fibonacci extension levels, I do think there might be a good chance to see this $5.21 level at some point in time in the given future. That is if the market cooperates, and that is if we see this ascending triangle play out. Because at this point, we are now seeing an ascending triangle that is about 5 months deep. So this would produce quite the results, kind of like what we saw here. So this is exciting for Komodo. I do think that it just needs a little bit more exposure. Like I said, given the fact that this is ranked 363 on CoinMarketCap out of a total of 13,085 cryptos tracked by CryptoMarketCap, is impressive for this to be in the top 500. And I do think that there is a need for a decentralized wallet and an exchange. People are sick of the centralized stuff. It's too much to deal with. Nobody likes entering in their driver's license IDs and stuff like that. Maybe you'll have to with this, but I mean, it's centralized exchanges, they suck. So I'm hoping Komodo can come out of the woodwork on this and really do a bang up job. So let's go ahead and look at the AtomicDex now and see how user friendly this is. So here we have the AtomicDex wallet and exchange. Now, some of these features are not allowed in the US. I'm sure they will be in due time. If anything, I'll just have to VPN to a different country to unlock some of this stuff. But for now, we can just go ahead and look at the dashboard. This is really no different than any other wallet if you have them. Basically, you sign up, create some strong passwords, you get some keys, and the rest is history. This is still in beta testing mode, as you can see here, but I just wanted to kind of go over how easy it is to buy and sell crypto, or buy and send crypto for that matter. We can just come over here and we'll just type in a random coin, Raven coin, and we'll just enable this, and boom, now we can receive Raven coin. And you can kind of see where I'm going with this. Let's just say if you are buying something on the free market or something, and somebody's got this or X coin, you don't have to worry about converting it over to something else until later. You can just say, okay, you've got, let's see, seller, Celsius. We'll just go Celsius. You got Celsius in your wallet? I'll take that. Boom. Here we go. We can now receive this. No problem at all. So I'm really liking this. I'm liking the fact that this could be an exchange too. You could access it anywhere. If you got your keys, like, it's all on the up and up. My one question about this AtomicDex would be that high volatility time. Can they mitigate some of that pain and suffering that always happens when market crashes or spikes? So really, folks, I think that the AtomicDex is legit, and I always like it when we see these cryptocurrencies like Komodo actually have a working product that we can download and check out for ourselves. This appears to be 100% like user friendly. I have no training on this. I just came in and started adding things. I just literally downloaded it for this video. But I do like it, and I wish the folks at Komodo all the best. I do think this is a good project. I'm happy that they're linked up with Cardano. I'm happy that they're linked up with Nervous Network, Topple, IOHK. Let's see. I know I'm forgetting Ergo. So there's a strong alliance that these guys share company within. So that's cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of video, but we are going to give a huge shout out to all the Patreons. Thank you all for supporting the channel. If you're interested in supporting the channel, it's just $3 a month. You can get your name, YouTube channel name, up on this banner, and we'll see you guys on the next video.